So my life has been a series of non-ending projects, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to create a video, but I wanted to put this one out there just because of the component of this project that I managed to do, which was repairing a French door. And where it all started is up here on the roof, where these two sections of roof come together. The part closest to you is an addition that was built on, and when they connected the two, they didn't do a very good job of sealing between the two. And what is happening is, as water comes between those two sections of roof and falls off, it actually circles right back in and leaks into the house from within that seam there. And I'll show you what happened inside the house here. And this is the spot directly behind that intersection you just saw. And this was a continual leak. This room was being used as storage and hadn't really been looked into for a couple of years, which is why it managed to get so bad before we realized. And what it was doing was leaking into here, leaking down through the wall behind the vinyl siding. So there was no evidence from the outside that it was leaking until you got all the way down to the deck surface. And the reason we discovered this is I started working on replacing the deck surface and slowly discovered that this damage was coming from up above and rotted all the way up. After pulling the deck boards off, I discovered the sill plate was completely missing. There was no joist behind it. It was just completely rotted. And then I knew that I had much, much bigger problems. So it was time to start ripping off siding to figure out what was going on. And I discovered, again, more rot. And it got worse the farther I went up. The leaking was going down through on the corner, again behind the siding, and it had completely, this is just after I removed the end joist there, this is like nothing left of that wall. So I had to pull all that stuff out and put in a new end joist. Whoever built this, I do not like the way they did it. They literally put a pressure treated 2x6 down and then stuck the 2x10 floor joist on top of that, just like balancing off of it. And there really wasn't a whole lot of meat for anything to connect to. As I rebuilt it, I tried to do my best to strengthen it and repair it. And if you look closely in the picture, you can see underneath I had to put some jacks down and raise the floor up so that I can put my new end joist in and sill plate and everything else and get it all put back together. And this is pressure treated down below, and we're getting it all covered. Once I got everything jacked up, I think I raised it about 2 inches, got it all put back together. I can pull my jacks out and then move on to the next section. Got the left side all taken care of. There was leaking coming down the right side, so I had to replace the right side as well. I did that a little later, but I primarily wanted to get this corner taken care of so it was stable once again. The existing sheeting was just peeled off. There wasn't a whole lot left of it. I had to replace the actual studs. For whatever reason, the builder that built this used 2x8s, and he had like 24-inch spacing. Wasn't very good workmanship, I don't believe. Then I had to pull the door out so that I could jack up the wall to get new plywood underneath it, because of course it needed replacement plywood as well as the replacement end joist. The plywood was completely missing, and this is how the wall was actually connected. This is the side of the door frame here. Really not a whole lot of support on this wall. I had to replace the end joist going over to this other side of the door. The damage here was caused by a lack of flashing on the deck ledger board. So I had to replace much of that because it was being rotted from rain and snow melt sitting on the deck and leaking its way into the floor joist. Same process as before, just jack things up, get plywood underneath it, a new board underneath it for the end joist, and just keep working away at replacing all of the rotted components. And this gets us to our main part of the video, which is repairing the French door that was in that door frame and had all of its sides, especially the bottoms, rotted right out. So I'm trying to save this French door frame, and you can buy replacement door frames. I actually got this one at Lowe's. Comes with the two sides and the top, but they're for a regular door, and regular door is taller, believe it or not, than this French door. And this is why I have to replace it. I'll show you some video here of here's some clips of the actual wall that I pulled this out of. So what I've done is I've cut off the excess of the stock door frame to match the height of the one that I have here. I added the little 5-degree cut that is for shutting off rain, and I did that by setting my miter to 5 degrees. Love this Craftsman miter saw. You know, I think Craftsman isn't the greatest name out there, but this one's really nice. But anyways, it's got a stop over here that I can set, adjustable stop, so that I can adjust the height that the blade goes down. And I was able to set that stop out and get my perfect height to match this, and then just cut that 5-degree bevel there for that to go. And then I clamped these two together and marked off where my hinge points go, and then marked off on the hinge on the original one. You can see the pen marks there that I put on there, how deep it needs to go, and then using that to transfer over onto the new frame. And then I will get out my palm router and start the cut, and I'll probably have to finish it with a chisel just because the palm router is not going to get back into here. At best it'll cut this edge for me, but there'll be some chiseling there to get that just right. But it will save me a $700 or $800 French door or more. They're actually got up in price a lot since this door was purchased. So with my French door repaired and ready to go back in, I need to prep the wall for the door to go in. And all of the things I've done here is I've added ice and water shield at the bottom. Now it goes all the way to the very bottom of the door, very bottom of the house frame, to the very, very bottom. So that's going to cover and make sure that no moisture, no water gets into that space. And that is on top of house wrap, which is also protecting that space. And then around the door frame, I have the house wrap folded in to protect the edges of the door frame. And then around that, I have flashing tape to make it even more watertight around that corner. Once that's all done, then we can slide the door in place. So we were able to put the door back together using the new side pieces. I just put screws in through the top to the old top, as well as the bottom. Got it shimmed up, spaced up, all put in to the frame. One thing I always do is use a long screw for here in each hinge. So that long screw is what's holding the door together. Let's fix that. It's holding the door frame solid. You can see that one sticking through there. Still need to put in my expansion foam. The spacing is critically important to get even spacing up through this actual frame, square and true. It took a lot of time to get that straight. A lot of tweaking. Ended up having to use a screw to slowly raise this up because the deadbolt was not, the latch bolt, the striker latch was not lining up, and I gotta fix that. There's a handle for that. Latch doesn't latch. I actually had to shift this side of it up the whole frame, and once I did that, everything lined up, and I got a nice solid seal all the way around the door. Everything straight, no extra gaps anywhere. Nice even gap up the center post, and now I'm ready for not only my expansion foam, but also my brick molding. And for brick molding, So one other thing I had to do was add some plywood spacer here at the bottom to get the height and support underneath that so it's not flopping. Most stores now you can get PVC brick molding, which is really awesome stuff. It includes the J-channel already in it for your siding. And we just need to 45 the corners up there. Get your spacing down. Make sure you have a good reveal. Should line up with the bottom. And I'm going to cut up the length now and get these installed and get my tap piece installed. Unlike the side kits, these come single pieces, so I was able to get 3 pieces, and I'm going to have one nice piece for up there. And to make the brick molding fit a little better, I actually got some long white trim screws and then screwed down through the corners to give it a really tight fit, and also screwed through the front, since they're white they blend in, to make it a nice tight fit around the door frame itself. So there's no gap there, everything looks good. And with that lower section complete, I can put the scaffolding up and then start working on the second floor. I'll need to pull that siding off, replace all the rotted sheeting and all the rotted framework.